Existence of equilibrium. Finding the balance. Imagine a seesaw. For it to be in equilibrium, it needs to be perfectly balanced with equal weight on both sides. In economics, equilibrium refers to a state of balance in a market or an entire economy, where the opposing forces of supply and demand are in balance. There is no inherent pressure for prices or quantities to change. What does existence of equilibrium mean then? It simply asks whether such a balanced state can actually occur. Is there a price at which the amount of a good or service that sellers want to offer perfectly matches the amount that buyers want to purchase? Think of it like this. If at every possible price, either sellers want to sell much more than buyers want to buy surplus, or buyers want to buy much more than sellers want to offer shortage, then an equilibrium might not exist. The seesaw can't find a balancing point. For an equilibrium to exist in a single market, the supply and demand curves must intersect at a positive price and quantity. This intersection point represents the price and quantity, where the desires of buyers and sellers perfectly align. In more complex scenarios involving multiple markets, like in general equilibrium theory, the existence of equilibrium means that there's a set of prices for all goods and services such that supply equals demand in every market simultaneously. Proving the existence of such a state is a fundamental task in economics. Walrasian equilibrium stability condition. Will the balance stick? Now imagine our balanced seesaw gets a little push. Will it return to its balanced state on its own, or will it tip over further? This is the essence of stability of equilibrium. Walrasian equilibrium describes a situation where, at a given set of prices, supply equals demand in all markets. The Walrasian stability condition tries to determine if this equilibrium is stable. In other words, if there's a small disturbance to the prices, will market forces push the prices back towards the equilibrium? Intuitively, the Walrasian stability condition, often discussed through a process called tâtonnement, groping, or trial and error, suggests the following. If there is excess demand, buyers want more than is supplied. For a good, the price of that good will tend to rise. This encourages more supply and discourages some demand, moving the market towards equilibrium. If there is excess supply, sellers offer more than is demanded. For a good, the price of that good will tend to fall. This encourages more demand and discourages some supply, again moving the market towards equilibrium. The intuitive stability condition is that the market's price adjustments should counteract any deviations from equilibrium. Think of it like a ball in a bowl. If you push the ball slightly, a stable equilibrium means the ball will roll back to the bottom of the bowl. An unstable equilibrium would be like a ball balanced perfectly on the top of an inverted bowl. Any tiny push will send it rolling away. For Walrasian stability, a key intuitive idea is that above the equilibrium price there should be excess supply, pushing prices down, and below the equilibrium price there should be excess demand, pushing prices up. This creates a self-correcting mechanism. Market equilibrium condition. Where supply meets demand, market equilibrium in a single market is the most basic form of economic equilibrium. It's the point where the forces of supply and demand for a specific good or service are balanced. The market equilibrium condition is simply that the quantity demanded by buyers equals the quantity supplied by sellers at a particular price. This price is called the equilibrium price, and the corresponding quantity is the equilibrium quantity. Intuitively, imagine buyers lining up to buy apples and farmers bringing their apples to sell. If the price of apples is very high, farmers will bring lots of apples, high supply, but maybe not many people will want to buy them, low demand. This creates a surplus of apples, and to sell them, farmers will likely lower the price. If the price of apples is very low, many people will want to buy them, high demand, but farmers might not bring as many to the market because it's not very profitable, low supply. This creates a shortage of apples, and because people really want them, they might be willing to pay a higher price. The market reaches equilibrium when the price is just right. The exact number of apples that farmers want to sell is the same as the number of apples that people want to buy. At this point, There is no pressure for the price to go up or down. The market is in balance. In essence, market equilibrium is the natural resting point where the desires of buyers and sellers are harmonized through the price mechanism.